today we think about living with a senior dog. Now, greyhounds typically retire at any age from maybe 18 months, quite young, still a puppy really, up to perhaps 7 years if they've had a long racing career or they've been used for breeding afterwards. So the age of retirement varies quite a lot, typically maybe 3 to 4 years. The chances are then that you're not likely to be living with a puppy, but there's a good chance that you'll be living with a senior dog at some stage. And they can live up to maybe 14 years, so you could have the dog for perhaps 10 years in total. You're likely to see some changes as the dog gets older, just as you see changes with humans or any other animal. We're going to see changes in their physical needs. As they get older, their senses become less efficient, so their eyesight might not be as good. You might even see cataracts forming in the eye. Their sense of hearing may be less efficient, and the sense of smell goes last. So the chances are that sniffing is going to be a particularly rewarding activity as they get older, but they're less likely to spot interesting things like squirrels or cats on walks. You may find that they slow down or just want to walk less. They may even want to sleep more than they did when they were younger. You might like to get them a different sort of bed, perhaps memory foam or extra fleecy blankets, and they may wish to feel warmer at night with a fleece to keep them cozy. So arthritis is common in older dogs, and I think with greyhounds, because they've been athletes in their younger life, they can be more prone to problems as they get older because of the early wear and tear on the body. And this means that you might start to notice those changes as they get to middle age, and at that point you could start giving the dog a supplement to try and stave off the effects of arthritis later on. You might notice the signs of some pain, so they might become a bit more irritable, less likely to want to be touched or disturbed. They might be off their food if they're feeling uncomfortable. They could be slower on a walk. They might not want to jump in the car or go up the stairs or get on the sofa. And these can all be signs of discomfort in the body that you could get checked out with your vet. You may also notice that the dog is likely to change their desire when it comes to food. So things that they liked before might not be so interesting anymore. Remember, the sense of smell goes last, so anything that smells good is likely to appeal more than something that's bland. And you might add warm water to the food to help it be more smelly than it was anyway. You can buy food specially formulated for an older dog that's suited to their particular needs and more digestible for them. You might find they want to have smaller meals and to eat more often, rather than to have just 1 or 2 bigger meals in the day. Now, greyhounds are prone to dental issues, and one problem that you can have as they get older is trying to balance the need to keep them safe with the need for a dental, because the risk of an anaesthetic gets higher as the dog gets older. Now, if you manage it carefully when they're younger, you can try and avoid needing that anaesthetic in later life, but of course don't rule out pain in their mouth if the dog's not eating properly. So the other area where we see changes is with toileting. You may find they begin to have less control over their bladder or their bowels. They might need to toilet more frequently, or they might need to toilet more urgently. And this can lead to accidents in the house, perhaps at night or if you've gone out, or even while you're in the other room. So this is something that you may need to manage. And it could be because of the organs just not being so efficient. It could be the messages sent from the brain down to the bowels that are not so efficient. And the end result is the dog has more accidents. So this is something that you may just need to manage through letting the dog out more often, accepting that there might be a mess and how you're going to clean that up and get rid of any contamination or the smell. It may be it's something the vet can help with. So do go and see the vet if you are getting issues around their house training and cleanliness in the house, in case there's something they can do to help. So another area where we see changes as the dog ages can be in their cognitive function. Just as with humans, any dog is going to slow down a bit mentally as they get older, But sometimes it's more than this, and it's a form of doggy dementia known as canine cognitive dysfunction. So if you feel that your dog is a bit disorientated, or maybe they seem confused, perhaps they don't recognize you anymore, or they're not really remembering the training that you've put in place, then it may be that they're developing the equivalent of dementia. This affects their mental function. It's changes in the brain that make them less able to think properly and to remember things. And just like with humans, it's a progressive condition. So the vet can support you with this, and signs of it can occur in a very subtle way when the dog is perhaps in middle age. So do look out for any early signs of this. In particular, dogs that start barking for no apparent reason, that can be a sign of the beginnings of canine cognitive dysfunction. And key here, just as it would be with humans, is to try to maintain stimulation. So keeping them to a good routine so that they have things that are familiar to them, but also keeping the brain active, maybe with puzzle games. Just like with humans, they might suggest that as you get older, you do things to stimulate the brain, like crossword puzzles and quizzes. Dogs can have puzzle toys. You can give them canine enrichment to do. You can give them just new toys, or even take them somewhere different to enjoy all the sniffs on their walk. But things to keep the brain active is going to be helpful. So that's it for today. I hope you found that useful. We'll be back again soon to talk some more about living with greyhounds.